Hey, happy Saturday to you on this Memorial Day weekend. I want to tell you ahead of time that we may hear a bit of noise. We will, I'm pretty sure, because we have the Hyundai Air and Sea Show happening here in Miami Beach, and it's a big on-air show, right? With I saw some A-10s out yesterday and some Black Hawk helicopters. So it's a naval and well, everybody's represented, but in general, it's mostly the air side of things and the sea side of things. So Coast Guard's out here, everybody out here. So something's gonna bleed through. Just so you know, so you're going, what the hell is that? But the good news is we're at an air show, so that's okay. I got that going on. Let me bring up some relevant things for us here. And I see let's see, what do I got going on here? I was giving updates. Hmm. So I was given updates to people on the 141 effort that we're doing. So I can talk to you about that later, but maybe in the second hour. But this first hour is going to dedicate what we wanted to say it was going to be. Let me remove these little things here, which is something near and dear to my heart. Why? Why? It says, why is this near and dear to your heart? I don't know. Okay. So let me start off with this by saying that we're talking about estimating the ability to do this, right? So let me just show you the second slide. So kind of that's the idea of it. Okay, so the reason that this becomes important is because I begin seeing a couple things happening that I don't know that there is a solution on our end to it, but I don't know that there's a solution globally for it yet. And that is, I see people relying on technology a little too much. And I mean, when I say a little too much, it's for every single thing. So, for example, news, unvetted news, news that's crowdsourced, and then take that as if that's really happening, those kind of things, right? So I see this creeping into aviation a little bit, this kind of thing where we can't make a personal decision about it. We have to crowdsource everything, or we have to call somebody or get some opinion. We can't make a decision, and a lot of that comes to do for me comes to the fact that we've lost our ability to estimate. And once we can do that in aviation, then some things happen. Okay, here come the jets now. But anyway, we'll hear those. And those things that happen are we get to validate things. And we get to validate things based upon personal reference to what we're doing. So we have a handle, we have our fingers and our hands on it, and our brain is in it, and then we can see if something's lying to us. We have the ability to see it. We don't just follow blindly. So I'll tell you something so phones are like I don't want to live without my phone. I got to tell you, I'm a big fan of technology, huge fan of technology, but I see people using it in very interesting ways because, for example, I go to the beach almost every day. I do about 4 miles combination, light amount of jogging, walking, not crazy, not that crazy person walking. We got to wait to like this, not that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not wearing that. I don't want to get skin cancer hat about this big with the flaps and everything. All I don't want to wear that either. So that's just going to have to happen. So, but anyway, what I see people that won't get out of your way because they're looking at a phone and they're coming right for you, and then they don't even see you coming, and they don't care. And then they cross the road, and so they'll cross the road, and they look at the phone, and they still look at the phone the whole way across the road, and they're hoping that the people next to them have identified all the hazards, and it's good. It's because they don't want to leave the phone. So we find this kind of in this way. I'm not saying it's the entire way, but I'm saying we're seeing some of that creep in to aviation. We also saw it with that big accident that happened with the kid who was on the phone and browbeating the other, this kind of stuff, bullying, and then into the thunderstorms or the bad weather they went. So, and a lot of that's just, it's that, right? So then, how do we do about it? Well, first thing, got to make a case for it. That's the first thing, right? In other words, if there's no solution, if you're just identifying a problem with no solution, that doesn't seem like a very good thing to do. So I want to identify the problem. I've sort of laid out a little bit of that, not everywhere, but a little bit of it. And then I want to lay out the solutions, right? And I want to give you very specific ways to estimate. I think you'll like that. And this presentation, by the way, is available to you in the chat soon. And it will also be emailed to you, so you'll have it. And there's a video we're going to see. It's only about 3 minutes. It's also quite good too. And I'll show you, even though I hate this thing, this flight computer thing, this round 84-year-old gadget. I'm going to show you a way to use it pretty effectively in one case. I'm going to allow you to use it in one case. Okay, allow you. Isn't that funny? I'm allowing you to do something. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to lay out the case for why, and then we'll get into the very specifics of this stuff. Now, I will look at your chat here. Chats at the beginning of the second hour. I won't be able to do it. Well, maybe it depends on how much time there is. But I can tell you also for wings credit, you'll get that later. So everything you'll need to think about or grab onto that we're going to send you is in the chat. So if you open up your chat, you can also save the chat. There's three little dots in there. You can save your chat. So later, if you miss something at the end, I'll give you enough time before we close out to make sure you can save the chat. And you have links and you have all stuff in there that we and other people put in there. You have all the comments from other people, all that kind of thing. So I wanted to set that for you. The format for today's show is about halfway through. We'll take a break and I'll show you some things we're working on. And maybe I'll show you our classes that are coming, just a few things. It's going to take 5 minutes. So it gives a bit of like, ooh, boy, that was a lot. It also gives us a little bit of that to a little breathing space, right? And then what we'll do is at the top of the hour, then we'll close out the show. And as the show goes on, if I talk about something, Nick will put things in the chat. Or I think Alex is here too. We can put wings, all that stuff will go in there at the appropriate time. So, keep your eye on that as the show moves through so we can sort of see how that's going to go. Okay, so there's that. So let's start with, let's just start this. So make sure that we can all see this and make sure I got the share going correctly. From CFI Boot Camp in Miami Beach, Florida, this is the Power Hour. Welcome.